Last put them in lease and invocation.
Gracious God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this good day. We thank you for that brother in heaven. Thank you for the atmosphere, the sun, where you can get involved and what you see. Bless our families, be with those who are sick, trouble. Bless this meeting and serve your purposes in Jesus.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item we have on the agenda is citizens' input. Do we have anybody that would like to speak? Brad just sitting there just a minute.
Well, you weren't at the last meeting. I kind of called during the board meeting.
Good to see John here, our county commissioner, one of them. Everybody else that's here, I'm glad to see everybody here. I've been out a few meetings here. I've been tied up on some cases. It's good to be here.
One of our county commissioners probably couldn't be here tonight because he probably babysitting. He got a new baby.
Who's that?
Ben Brown.
Ben got a new baby? All right.
Born last Thursday?
We need to call him and arrest him.
I believe it's last Thursday.
All right, if there's no citizens that have anything you'd like to bring forth, call the meeting to order.
Mayor Owen,
Present.
Vice Mayor Richardson,
Here.
Alderman Bolander,
Here.
Alderman Bowles,
Here.
Alderman Crabtree, Alderman Smith,
Here.
Alderman Woodward.
Question mark, she'll be here.
Yeah.
All right. Next item we have is approval of the minutes from February 2013.
And I did make the corrections on the January minutes.
Okay.
So,
Most meetings be approved.
Okay, I got a motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, accepting the minutes with the corrections made, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item on the agenda will be approval of financials, February 2013.
you might note on general fund, there's miscellaneous is $4,337.27. That's made up of a loan, that energy loan payment of $4,019.29 that we paid. Comptroller of the treasurer for the taxes and a return check. You just knew that was a pretty big amount.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to squeeze them to make them better. lot of folks, when they go to pay their county, just come on down here and pay their cities.
Yeah. Did we ever get hung up? How much was still owed there?
And several properties. There's just a little bit here now. She'll call and tell me to figure it out, and I'll go back and spend it, figure it out, all up again.
Do they come pay anything?
I'm not gonna do it next time, except for just for you.
Howdy there.
Oh, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm trying to be all right.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Into line 106, on expenses, and maybe I don't understand it, but it's got a question. Is that saying that is still available to senior citizens, or maybe I don't understand?
Well, the way we have it set up now, that was for, the building repairs.
Yeah.
And of course, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, about changing that for next year.
Okay.
I think all we've done with senior citizens this year is just the 500 for the propane.
Yeah. Okay.
It's on the other line. 116.
Make a motion to accept the financial report is read.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion on financials? If not, all in favor of accepting financials as we see here? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item on the agenda would be approval of police report for February 2013. Had 39 traffic stops, 21 citations, 18 warnings, no arrest. 31 calls, 1 domestic, 1 juvenile call, 2 burglary or thefts, 4 suspicious persons, 4 animal control, assisted Lincoln County twice, assisted first responders twice, assisted EMS 3 times, reckless driver complaint 1, escort 3, motor assist 6, had 3 vandalisms, 12 citizens assist, 5 reports were taken. Ending miles on car 1 is 140,447. Ending miles on car 3 is 95,015. Ending miles on car 2 is 110,237. Total miles driven for the month, 2,124.
Make a motion to accept the police report for the month of February.
I'll second.
Have a motion, have a second. Accept the police report is read. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item would be approval of the water report from February 2013. Jack?
See on your report that we purchased 1,370,250 gallons, billed out 1,217,600 gallons. Our unaccounted for water down to 11%. We've been up, 19 or so, so that's back down, and I really think it's due to that leak we had. And again, you just got to realize you can't read all the meters every day, so it's kind of a fluctuation. But I was worried about it being up high, but it's back down to 11%. In the operations report, we are working on our grant, South Central Tennessee Development District. Brianna come in the other day. She has got the environmentals that I think you signed, and she will be submitting them the 15th of March. We're a little behind there. She had some problems getting some responses from some of the state people, but all that's done, and she will be submitting that the 15th of March. Now, we had 90 days to get the environmentals, and from that point, we get 90 days to get the design. I don't think Griggs and Maloney's going to take 90 days. They've already actually been working on the designs. We've met here at least once and walked around the town and up to the white building and doing some things there. So they're already working on the designs. And I really feel like they'll have the design and the plans for the proposed work. Probably it won't take 90 days. We should have that. I'm thinking we'll have it by the end of April. I feel sure, but and then we'll have 30 days to bid it out, get the contractor on board, and hopefully be seeing some work being done. I'm hoping by May or June, which will be better weather anyway. Item 3 was the 2012, and my typo. I'm getting this.
No.
It's not the 2102, but it's the 2012 water quality report information. I've actually got that with me from FPU, and I've actually already started changing. I went down to Horton Printing today and met with them, and he had a little problem. They've changed some personnel. He had a problem finding it, so I will be going back to them. They do have, we just got to change some parameters a little bit. We've got until July 1st to get them mailed out. I always like to do them early. I don't like to wait till the last minute. And we're also looking, item 4, the annual cross connections. We want to send out surveys this year, so what we're looking at doing is sending that survey, the water quality reports, do all that in one mailing, so to save us money. We do have one RPB device to be tested down here at the car wash. Last year, Blaylock, Electric, that's what they call it, came over, and you had to have somebody certified to do it. They came over and did it. We did ask Marshall County and FPU if they would do it for us, and both of them declined. So.
I'm hoping Marshall County by this year.
Yeah, we're working on Marshall County a little bit. We aided Marshall County, and so we're hoping they're going to aid us, and we might save $120 there. So we're working on that right now. But other than that, we're just kind of excited about the grant, getting the stuff fixed up. You'll hear more about that when the plans come. I'll bring them to you and tell you what we're going to actually do and spell it out for you in a little bit more detail.
Make a motion water report be accepted.
Got a motion, do I have a second, accept the water report? Got a motion and a second, all in favor of accepting the water report is read, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next item is old business. Says no old business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
on old business, Amy and I discussed this afternoon. We were trying to think if we had any. According to our minutes from last month, we had 2 motions to table business. One was to table the work at the old water treatment plant,
Right.
and we also tabled discussion on the credit card payments.
Yep. Can we discuss them or?
We can leave it on the table. I mean, it's there until you pick it up. I don't know if there's really anything to talk about with the water treatment plant.
I know with the credit card thing, I'm not ready to make a decision yet.
That's fine.
I'm still,
Well, and we even said that, that we wanted you to look at the systems that were out there and you be familiar with the one that, the ones you're gonna be the most comfortable with, so. That's fine, but I just wanted to throw it out there that was,
we need to talk about
that was on the table from last meeting.
Check it a little bit further before we have any discussion.
You don't have to do anything but leave it on the table, do you?
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we're gonna leave those two on the table, this table last month.
I'm hoping once Mr. Gary gets finished with the first responders, he can ease on over to the volunteer fire department and maybe give us a little break financially.
Well, everything that they've done for the town
That's amazing.
has saved us a lot of money. Town was getting in bad shape, Mr. Gary and them been bringing it back up. Town's looking good, and, as we get the money, we'll pay for more stuff being done. It's just making the town better.
One thing, we're not sure exactly what we need to do with the water treatment plant.
Right.
TML, inspector, I guess, or what's
What
his
was
title?
I can't remember now.
He's the insurance guy.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
insurance guy.
Says it need to be boarded up.
That the one with you down at the center of that court?
He's with the risk management food, isn't he?
Yeah.
All righty, we'll look into that one, and then on the credit card machine, we'll just leave it like it is till we check into some more of those. I don't think we need a motion to keep on
No.
taking. All right, we're gonna move along, new business. Got a letter from Sharon Duncan asking for further adjustment on water. I read the letter, I talked a little bit earlier. Angie called me and told me what we had on it. I wasn't aware of this. She had a water bill for the period of 12/26 to 1/29, ended up being $1,457.81, which they found out she had a leak on her side of the house. She didn't know she had it. The water bill was adjusted down to $813.45, which is our policy. On that, when it's on their side, we'll reduce it down by so much, and that's as far as we can go. She's wanting us to reduce it more, but we can't do it. If we do, it opens up the door for everybody that we went back and had them to pay. Plus, she's had another high water bill this last period of $174 and some odd cents, which she still had a small leak in there. I believe it's $100 after that. Over 100, we can do a little adjusting on that one.
Policy is $100 over your average bill. And if you don't have $100 over your average bill, you don't even qualify.
Okay.
And then from that point, we take your average water bill off what you owe, and then whatever's left, we split it basically 50/50. We take 50% off.
Okay. All right, and then she asked about the late charges on this here.
And now, the late charges, if you make an agreement, she's really not late.
Okay.
We could,
I don't think you would have to charge late charges
Right.
if you make an
we
agreement.
could just make a note on, well, go in there and make an adjustment on her account where it's not charging her late charges
Right.
every
Yeah,
month.
that's what we need to do with that. She
Until
has
it's-
let's see, her mother's living with him, she has a disabled child. She's paid her bill on time ever since she's lived here, which she has.
Yeah, she has.
So if we can do that on this last bill, take care of that. Cut the late charges out, make an agreement, get her to come down and make an agreement with us, and like we've done the others, and let her pay a little bit on this other as she goes along.
But
We can do
we
that.
do two adjustments in a 12-month period.
We'll do 2 and a 12 month, that's what the new
Two.
policy
Okay.
is. But hopefully this will be her last.
Hopefully this has got her right here.
She was telling me where she came from in Jackson. Jack said he'd never heard of this. If you have an excessive water usage, after 2 days, it alerts you. So it wasn't like it would go on and on all month. And then I had asked Jack because I'd never heard of that
I
either.
never heard of that.
Well, with technology today, I've never heard of it, but technology today, you can actually read meters from the office if you've got the correct,
Equipment.
radio read,
Yeah.
whatever. And I would think if you had something like that, then that would be the only way that it would be able to,
Yeah.
it's just like kind of this, our reservoir. Our reservoir will alarm us when it gets too low or too high, based on the parameters we have set. So that would be the only thing if they
She
had
had a
radio
holler
reads.
here, but she never asked.
And Jackson might. If it's Jackson, Tennessee, that's a big town, so they might
They may have it like that.
something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think showing what she's paid in this last part here, I believe she qualifies for the adjustment on this last bill.
We can
Like
do
we talked about, we can do that, that'll be her second adjustment for this year. She does need to have that checked. The $813.45 stands as is. Just have to get an agreement with them, we'll adjust the other bill and knock off the late charge. That'll help her quite a bit, but still we got that.
She needs to understand that there's only 2 adjustments in a calendar year.
And that's a rolling 12-month or?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
12-month period, so, starting today, 12 months, so if she had 2, and then 12 months later, she could have 2 and that 12.
Everybody understand what we're doing now? Brad said they're going to go.
Well, I'm just trying to calculate how many gallons of water that.
That's a lot,
It was
you know.
unbelievable.
must have a swamp out there.
Well, $1,457 in water, you know, that's,
You don't have the adjustment they gave you.
That's several thousand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. She just had that house redone. It's the house at the White House right up here on the corner, you go past Mr. Henson's.
I got good water
So,
pressure.
you know, it being on that hill, I bet it's coming out going in that ditch,
She don't mind.
and nobody ever seen it, I guess.
164,000.
Well, could that be where our water losses was from the
But she's
last
running
time?
wide open.
The room in the shower.
A big part of it.
You wouldn't think
What about
that.
her water pressure?
That's what we were trying to figure out. How she had any water.
I had
You got 1,440 minutes in a day.
How long it takes you to fill your water?
1,440 minutes in a day, 5 gallons a minute.
That's a lot of water.
That's 9,
I know I had about 6 days at Mulberry.
Stop thinking about 7 days, you can get there. And she's
You'll
probably
get there
doing
if you don't know it for over a month or something.
She's losing that kind of water.
I was just glad Tim's the one that actually caught that. When they read and he came back, I said, that has to be a misreading. And he said, well, I'll run up there and check it. And he said, that thing was just spinning like crazy.
All right, now that we've got that figured up how, do I need to say it one more time so we get a motion and a second
What?
on the water? Leave the,
On the adjustment.
yeah, the adjustment we already done. Gonna adjust this last bill which will take care of it, and then do away with the late charge,
Then make an agreement.
and make an agreement with her.
She's already made $100 payment.
Towards it.
Yeah,
But
she
you-
just went ahead and set that in.
But you need to get something in writing with her.
Yeah, we
I
need to
will.
get the contract like we have with everybody else and follow. Need to let her know if I need to speak to her, get her, let me know when to be down here, and I'll get with her, and I'll explain it to her, and get her to sign it, and I'll sign it. All right, guess need a motion.
Make a motion to adjust the most recent bill. Help me out here.
Remove the late charge.
Remove the late charges and make an agreement to pay the outstanding balance.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion on that?
Angie, if you would, call her tomorrow and let her get in touch with Miss Barbara, the field Sunday services, help.
Help pay part of
I'll
it,
tell
so.
her. Okay.
All
Sorry
right,
about that long ago, but, you know, everybody, I'm sure, is compassionate, and I'd love to be able to say,
Yeah.
you know, but policy is policy, unless you change the policy, that's really all we can do.
Well, just taking the late charges off and making arrangements on the rest
Yeah,
of it will be a
some
big
help here
help,
would be a
and then,
big help.
yeah, that'll be great.
all right, got a motion and a second. Any more discussion on it? If
I'll
not-
second it.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. All right. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item is senior citizen adding to our propane gas bid.
Let me explain that.
Explain that one to what we got going on there.
We have, in our budget, 500 for senior citizens for operating expenses. Then we have 1,000 for building expenses. Well, their propane is just killing them down there. How much are y'all paying a gallon?
Got 200 gallon Friday was $2.49 a gallon. That 200 gallon, I'm paying a bill in the morning, $503
Who you getting it from?
local.
And we're paying $1.18.
I think you need to get bids on that.
Well,
Well,
what Mr. Jeans proposed is
UPG will sell it to them a lot
You just
cheaper.
have it out for bids.
instead of them being separate, if we can add them on with ours, take the whole $1,500 that we have allotted for them and put it in operational, so they can fall under, we'll pay up to that amount on their propane. If they have any building repair, then they take care of that themselves.
That's
What was that
ridiculous.
bill?
Because we can get it for $1.18 versus $2 and what, Ken?
$2.49.
$2.49,
We get it for what? Town?
$1.18.
$1.18.
And that'll save them, they're already up over $2,500 is what they've spent so far.
There is
That'll be
no-
close to $3.
There is no insulation in that building. We have had cold winter. We cannot cut all that heat off at night and then go in there at morning and that thing warm up. You can't stay in there. And like we've had the real cold weekends there, it's so cold. I mean, we had to leave it on all weekend on account of our water.
But we're fixing to have to put out bids for propane, so we kinda need to know this now, so we
We,
know a lot for that much more.
I did get to the point I cut it all off and I let the water just drip just a little bit.
How
to
much
keep
do
it from-
y'all usually run on average a week of a winter? How many gallons?
Well, I know it was just about the fourth time that we have put in 250 gallons this year.
And this has been a mild winter.
Huh?
Been twice,
No, this is about the fourth time.
14? What I was getting at, you can pre-buy that gas and save a whole lot of.
That's right too. But the thing about it is the senior citizens don't have that kind of money to be able to buy that do that pre-buy.
We're talking about putting over on ours.
And that'll help them up to that point, that
Yeah.
$1,500 will help them up to that point.
And I know it's coming up, the budget thing from the county is coming up. And I believe, John, you may know more about this than I do. I believe that the county gives the senior citizens $1,600 a year. And I believe that is the same thing they've asked for this next year, which is coming up in April. But
We're gonna try to approach Marshall County as well. I
we
think.
have got, out of that, I mean, of course, the town gives us their water. But out of what we've been getting, we've been having to buy our propane with it, we pay our light bill. The light bill down there has run this month within $5 of what my home light bill does, and we're not even there all the time. But, well, I can't say that, but, because we don't. There's nothing down there that runs on electricity except the steam table, the refrigerators, of course, they run all the time. We don't use them 220 stoves that's down there. And then a few lights, and I don't know, I can't understand why the lights are as high as they are. Of course, I ain't me to say.
What are they? What is your light bill?
It's $110 or something this month. And mine's just $115 at home.
About
And that's
half
my-
of that is that fuel adjustment on it.
Yeah. See, we got in a spot down there, AT&T, we had our phone with AT&T. They were charging us as a business, we was paying nearly $80 a month as a phone bill down there. No long distance. So, with the help of Mr. Jean, we got in on with Verizon, and we were paying $24.90 something a month, and that's long distance included and everything. And we were paying like 50 something a month at the house, and we went the same way with Verizon. If you got Verizon cell phone, you can hook up Verizon in-house for 24 something a month, long distance included, caller ID, call waiting, and all that. You got a little box you plug into, plugs up, your phone plugs into it, no cables, nothing.
Keep the same number too.
Keep the same number. Now, we did have to change down at the center because we had already,
FPU, was that in Lincoln County?
It is.
You can ask FPU to come out and do an energy audit on the building, and they can supply just different things that can help some.
well, I know, and I can't say a whole lot because the town, the building belongs to the town. The town has been good to us. We use it. We don't have to pay nothing. And they have been good to us and everything. But I do know that around the windows and stuff, especially the window in the kitchen, if it comes a blowing rain from that way, it soaks that kitchen. It leaks in around them windows there.
Put some caulking around it.
It's gonna take more than caulking. It's gonna have to have some good wood stuff.
They won't charge you for the audit.
Huh?
Yeah. So,
There's a hot water heater or something, that's,
Yeah, that would be that's a good idea. I'd call Pat Haynes and see if you could hook that up.
Yeah, we got the 220 hot water heater, and
He'll come and tell you he'll come and tell you why your bill is why it is.
there ain't no
They'll actually-
insulation in it.
They'll actually should tell you
Well, she told me
what's
mine.
eating it up.
Ain't no insulation in
They'll do
it.
yours too.
Mine was $545.
They'll do a home.
Yeah,
There's
but you
a-
got a
they've
house
thing
plus
going on
size
TV
everybody
with
else.
But I don't use it. We don't use that.
Might not be a bad idea.
The town has been good to us. I cannot say they hadn't, because I mean, they let us use the building, don't charge us nothing. They give us our water down there, don't charge us for that, and
But I think this would help you.
all the grass around there, Corey's good to come keep that mowed for us. I mean, as far as help and stuff from the citizens of the town for the senior citizen building, hey, we've had that. Mr. Brad Dillon back, I mean, the roof that's on it, you was back to part of that, wasn't you? And the floor, where we floored like we went under him, and a couple of cohorts went under there and fixed that, and
cohorts. I like that.
whatever. But I tell you, Kay's got a limit on down there as to what they allow her a week that she can feed. But we've got room if anybody knows any senior citizens wants to come down and eat. We could handle a few more, like $1.25 a day. If it didn't come once or twice a week to help us out, it would be that much. And out of that $1.25, you get a meat, a couple of vegetables, dessert, milk. They make tea. They make tea.
Hey, what?
Everything he saw me.
What age?
I'm thinking Mr. Gary said around 2,500, 2,800. That sound, do you remember?
Well, for down at the center, something like that. But I do know one of the big things that he looked at was that right there around the kitchen, around them windows where it leaks and stuff. I do know they looked at that big time.
All right.
I would make the motion that we add them on to our propane bid. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. If they're paying $2.49 and we get it for $1.18.
Yep. Got a motion and a second, add them on to our propane gas bid,
Up to the 1,500?
up to the 1,500.
$1,500.
Any more discussion on adding the gas on?
Since I'm connected with senior citizens, I'll stay out of that, and I'm not gonna vote on that.
Okay. All right. No more discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed?
I really ain't connected to it that much, my wife is.
All right.
I
Discuss
just
bidding
go
out
down there to
propane.
send her here Prairie every day.
This
So
is
she's
a
got the camera.
fairly easy one. I just needed, we checked with Dana, and we do not have to advertise this in the paper.
Okay.
We can purchase fuels based upon 3 quotes that we can call and get them
To lock it in.
to lock, yeah.
And he cited TCA on that, right?
TCA 6-304.
That's on the gas.
That's on the gas. That's on any fuel products that you purchase.
You gonna get written quotes?
Written quotes.
Okay.
Now, AmeriGas, they offered it to me for $1.59. Your customer on a long time.
That's
And
what
UPG is hard to beat.
it
Was
is.
that better than UPG at the time, though? Was that better than UPG at the time?
No, I just talked to him the other day.
Oh, okay, so you're not ready to buy
It's
now?
getting time, I think, to start.
It's usually in the spring when we do it.
There is a propane company based out of Lynchburg. We met the truck the other day, and I don't remember the name of it, but I think it must be rather
And I
new
definitely
company.
want to give Dowdle and local people, I would love to,
Yeah.
to keep it here, but.
Yeah, but I don't think none of them's gonna come down that low, but I mean, there's no harm in asking.
Get with them and get us 3 rent quotes on it.
But we need a motion to go ahead and do that, or?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we get bid on, propane for the town.
Got a motion and do I have a second? Got a motion and a second to get 3 bids for the gas, propane this coming year. Are there any more discussion on that?
That's what I was just thinking.
I figure
If
we'll
we
try
just require-
AmeriGas,
Yeah, do
UPG,
that,
Dowdle, local people.
UPG, Dow, and local
You
people,
find out the one from Lynchburg.
and do all 5 of them, so it ain't gonna hurt.
Heritage down Federal give you pretty good break.
What about Country Gas?
Who?
Country Gas,
They're with Dowdle.
There.
that's right, that's part of
Yeah,
Dallas.
they're high. We'll get 5 or 6 bids and go with the lowest. That way we can say we talked to all of them. All right, got a motion second, any more discussion? If not, all signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, got here again, culvert at Karen Fulchers.
Oh,
Skip to
Just skip 2.
Buffer for town.
Buffer for town.
Actually, it's Burnishers.
It's burner shirt, it's the same thing. Actually, that's just a better name for it. It makes it seem like they do the same thing. What they do is put a pad on it, you can come in here and spray a little stuff on the floor and make it like glass.
Mr. Gary has assured us that to keep our floors looking
gonna
like
need
they
one.
are, we're gonna have to do this weekly.
I agree.
And
We redone the floors in, part of the co-op when I was working, and I mean, we redone them to keep them looking good. We had to buff them.
They look good right now.
Angie checked into one, and it was
$695.
$695.
What brand?
Comes from Clean Freak. State floor polishing machine. Gold medal standard, 28. It's their brand.
Go to you.
It's a 20-inch high-speed floor polishing machine, 1,500 RPM high-speed, 20-inch burnishing path with 1.5 horsepower DC motor, runs on standard 15 amp circuit, belt drive. It's their brand.
That was the one Mr. Gary recommended for us.
Yeah. I think that's one we got up for jail. Yeah, we got one like that up for jail. That's what we used to do floors up there. And it'll get it too.
Can't guarantee this.
60 feet or 67. Who do what?
Well, it depends on whether Merle's out mowing yards with it. He like to cook
Well,
rocks.
I know of several of the inmates that have used these up here and they ain't tore it up yet. You know, I mean, they bring people, when people get out of jail, they put somebody else up there to using it. When they first start using it, it's fun to watch them. Just stay back this way. Because them things will get away from you.
Polish
Yeah.
your shoes.
But they'll polish everything.
Hernia makers.
Yeah, yeah.
But we do want to keep it looking good. They
Yeah.
worked hard to get it.
Yeah.
We do.
Like I said, everything looks good. We do need one. We got something coming up after Miss Karen's somewhere. Oh, right after the buffer for the town hall. We got the contract weekly or monthly cleaning for town hall. I talked to the sheriff. We'll just go ahead and throw this in here now because it kind of goes along with buying this and then hiring somebody. I'm gonna be able to get us a trustee, I believe, to come down and clean town hall, wash patrol cars, do the floor and everything else. That way, it ain't gonna cost us nothing but probably feeding them a biscuit at lunchtime,
You can do that.
cookie or two or something,
Fish.
fish. So we can do that. But we do need a burnisher, buffer, for in here and over there. So,
If we need one, then I'm just gonna stick my neck out and I'll make a motion we purchase. We need it.
okay, got a motion to buy, this is a lot of words for me to say, burnisher.
Say a power buffer.
Power, yeah, one of them things you can sit on right around in circles if you sit on it. This model here, like I said, is one we got up in jail and it's been through several hands since we had it and they ain't tore it up yet. So if we had one or two people to use it down here, I think we'd be okay.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
They won't cut us a better deal than that, and
Probably not.
I wonder if, hold on. Y'all talk about something for a second.
You looking on the computer for nothing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look to see if there's anything on state bid on that.
Okay. Be nice if we could find one that the government had that we could get from. Don't panic. I'm not panicking. Huh?
see if eBay got one.
Seems like I ain't thought about it.
eBay got it. I ain't got one just for fussing up with
I'll tell you what, I've seen some stuff people have bought off eBay.
We almost bought something for, we had approved the pass devices for the fire. They're $279 each. We found them used on eBay the other day for, he was gonna sell them to us, 10 of them for $600. And Bobby and I were going back and forth trying to decide what we should do, and I was sending the guy, emailing him
Somebody bought 'em while you
questions.
were
Somebody
talking.
bought them in the middle of it.
What
Bobby
was
was
it?
just sick.
What I want.
Pass
the keyword in
devices,
there.
something to do with
This ain't the state's website. This is some third-party website.
something to do with breathing.
Yeah. Has a heat detector and everything on it.
That's a website that charges you a fee to go find the state bid that I can go find for free. Oh, let's see here. Table, I'm gonna make a motion to table this
All right,
and come back to it at a later point in the meeting, way we can move forward. I'll find it, just takes me a second to get to it.
okay.
I can multitask, I can listen, search at the same time, just ask
You
my
want
wife.
to table it for right now?
Yeah,
Come back to it?
yes, sir.
What about that?
Need a second?
Culvert?
Well, we're going to table this, what he's got here.
Or do we have to make a motion to do it?
Yeah,
I'll make a
believe so,
motion, we'll
yeah.
table it.
We can table it.
while he's working on
We can
that.
table it or suspend the rules, either one, it's either one, but it's one the
I
same.
just didn't table it. When we suspend stuff, it makes me antsy.
Okay.
We got a motion to table it.
Got a motion?
I'll second. I'll second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor? Any opposed? We'll table it till he gets it brought up there. Now we're going on to Miss Karen's culvert, which he's got a multitask, because he's got to tell us about that.
I'm sorry.
It's
Do
okay.
we need to do anything on this contract and weekly, even though we're going through
No,
the?
no. With that, I think it's all going
Just
to be
put Mayor
tied in with
on
the
it.
buffer, and we'll just take care, or the furnisher. We'll take care of it one time, because there's no need to vote on hiring somebody when I can get a trustee.
Right.
Well, Corey and I both looked at that hole down there at Carolyn's house, and I think we're both in agreement, just dig it out from Dale's culvert to where
Property
hers
down.
starts, and
Yeah.
leave it open.
That's what I don't know why you ever gonna stop it, because we try to cover it back up, it's just gonna stop it.
Yeah, there's no pipe in it, it's.
Yeah, it's old rock wall under it,
It's just
And,
dirt on top of it.
Is that where dirt's washed in?
and them rocks cave in on it.
You pull a culvert there, you have to put another somewhere, or 2 or 3, possibly.
Have to what?
And it's not that long
Might
of a
have to put
run,
another
really.
2 or 3 up and down there.
What, 4 or 5 feet, isn't it, Corey?
From
From Dale's.
all to where it's stopped up, and it's no more than 6 foot anyway. Where it's stopped up at, it's just what it is, the stuff has come through that ditch and has gone through that culvert under Thornton's driveway there,
Uh-huh.
and it's just gotten wedged in there with the way those rocks are stacked in there, it's gotten wedged like one thing, there's a big basketball in there. And it's just blocking that water and changing the course of that water, and when that water flows, instead of going straight, it's going up over this blockage, it's just eating away at that dirt up there.
You think if the culvert was cleaned out, it would flow? For a while, until it got.
It'll
back
flow for a
up.
while, and something else comes through there, yeah.
You gotta dig it out to get.
Another
that's where it's
basketball
at.
hit in there.
Well, if we need to dig that part out, dig it out, and then see if we can't get that cleaned out, and then go from there.
Could do that.
Because if it's packing up in there and then stopping, that's
Well,
all we got.
you know,
I think
part of
that's
the
27.
problem up there is the culvert that's under that driveway is not big enough to handle the flow of water that's coming through there to start with. When we get a heavy rain like we get every now and then, like this morning,
Yeah.
it's just that pipe can only handle so much, and it's just flowing out into the middle of High Street, and it's just a river running down High Street. I mean, I've seen people hydroplaning coming down that hill before they ever even get to my driveway. Just pushing water out, and that's what it is. It's when it's coming off of that hill up there, instead of making that turn to go under that culvert to go down the ditch, it's just flowing on out into the street. I mean, Miss Barbara's probably seen it coming through there, and I know Mr. Phil's seen it.
I have.
And it's, it's,
It's not big enough pipe in
the
there.
pipe's not big enough. And instead of flowing through the pipe, it's backing up and just backing out into the street.
Of course, I would say if there ever come a time that Thornton's culvert had to be changed out for some reason, then you could just extend it down
You can just extend it on down
and
through there.
connect it to the other, but I don't suggest trying to put a short piece of culvert in there right now. I suggest cleaning it out, dig it out, clean it out. And then if my sister-in-law raises Cain, blame it on me.
I'll make a motion to do that.
That's what I wanted to do when we put
Oh.
Okay, Corey made a motion to blame it on
in her
Mr.
driveway.
Mr. Booth,
Blame it on me.
No, I want to open that up now, do that.
Oh, yeah. Then it should have been. Well,
It'd be nice to get that telephone pole out of the center of that
Yeah, yeah.
ditch too.
a lot of the water they getting, coming to that ditch is coming off them driveways, coming off the hill, correct? Because I have seen it coming off them driveways, just shooting straight across the road.
And it's,
Oh.
there's water comes across mine, and it's,
Yeah.
I've cleaned that ditch out between me and her, and it still just, it just flows off of it.
According to the codes, Corey can correct me, according to the codes, those driveways aren't supposed to come out on the roadway, they're supposed to come down to the roadway. My other house, that's the way it does, and I've got a sloop main, so the water comes on down the driveway.
Yeah, I noticed,
into the ditch.
last time I come through there when it's raining pretty hard, those places where the driveways come out, that water just shooting across there, I mean,
Well, and you know, one way of solving that is to have a grate
That's what they
on the
need.
driveway,
put there at the drive.
so that instead of going out in the street, it drops
go
through the
down
grate
in,
into the
yeah.
ditch. You know, and that's mine included. But how do I-
We need to look at that right through there, because I know one of the driveways that was added one evening hasn't been opened back up like it's supposed to have been opened up by the guy that poured the concrete. I looked at that this evening when I come through the end coming out. It's got concrete and rock and everything just right up in it. Might need to find out who it was that done
And
it.
if the driveway come out the way that they should.
Should have come out.
The driveway should not come out on the road.
Yeah,
It should come out lower than,
yep. Because all it's doing is just shooting right past that ditch and coming right out the road.
But that'd be
Let's take a look at that, and,
Would we consider it a floor stripper? Wouldn't would it?
no.
Buffer.
Y'all carry on.
Actually,
Along in the same
To-
line,
to-
though,
well, it's in the same thing, but actually a buffer, let me back up on what I said. Buffer's a little bit different than burnisher. Buffer, you can use stripper pads on it and everything else
Yeah.
to do the floor here. You can also get a buffing pad and put on it, but it don't do as good as a burnisher, because that's all that they're made for. Really is to keep your floor looking like glass. You get your little bottle of spray stuff, you can spray it on there, and you can take that more than just slide across it. You gotta be careful when you first walk on it, because you're liable to end up on it. Yeah, there's a difference in it. But on Miss Karen's, I think we need to look at digging out that ditch right there above it a little bit, and then see if we can get that cleaned out. Take a look at what it's gonna take to clean it out. Because if there's a basketball hung up in there, it belongs to somebody.
It belongs to Dale, kids too, it belongs to.
Mr. Gary said he could have it. Mr. Gary said they could clean it out.
Yeah, what we'll do is get Mr. Gary to clean it out, and then maybe dig that ditch out a little bit, and then we need to check into, like Brad said, on those driveways coming out over in the road. They come out to it, like he said, instead of coming down and then coming up where the water go this way, they're coming straight out like this, and that water's just going right out the road.
So what we want to do, have Mr. Gary's clean it out?
Yeah, clean out down there in Miss Falter's, and then we'll see about doing that ditch, and then we'll get back with them and find out on these driveways.
there's several times around town that need cleaned out.
It goes
They
down.
go over here, don't they?
Have you found anything
I
yet?
ain't finding anything.
Ain't found nothing on the state road.
That tile right there where Lane comes out into the railroad right there. I have tried to clean that thing out, the water just stands like it's come real hard rain. I ain't got the stuff to get in there and clean it out with.
Well, there was HVAC maintenance, and electrical maintenance, plumbing maintenance,
Do we need a motion?
translation service.
Do we need a
Oh.
motion on that, Ms. Folgers?
Yeah, if Mr. Gary can get it cleaned out. All right, we was talking about the culvert up there, Miss Falter's, about having Mr. Gary and them clean it out, and then we'll dig that ditch out and go from there. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to get Mr. Gary and them to dig it up and clean it out where the water run through it.
Okay, got a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any more discussion on Miss Falter's? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, also, I'll check into that other on the driveways. All right. I like our price better. 23,000, I like ours a little bit
That
better.
wasn't the price, he's been out there on my truck.
That guy's at least got,
I like the ball.
I hope that's at least got a cup holder on it. That's concrete floor.
That should have a cup holder and
Oh, that makes sense.
a portable John in there.
For real. We can let them do it with that, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the price on that, $239 for a Hamlin. And boy, it'd take a while for that one.
Can you key in floor maintenance equipment? Can you do it that way?
Or just go to burnishers.
Yeah.
They just put in burnishers. All right, we'll move along until he gets that called up. Approval of special call meeting for rezoning First Baptist Church.
March 25th.
And we'll say the 25th on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have it after y'all get done.
Cool,
Just to-
do we have to vote on this? To vote on the rezoning?
Well, that's when
Yeah,
we'll do that.
that's what we're gonna do.
That's, we gotta set the special call meeting and then vote on it then, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It had to be at least 15 days.
Yeah.
So, the earliest I could get it in the paper was this last Friday.
Right.
And unless y'all wanted to come in on a Saturday and do it, it was gonna be a Monday, and I didn't think anybody wanted to do that, so.
We had it set up for 6:30 is what we
6:30, just to bring the rest of the board up to speed of what we're talking about. First Baptist Church, and this will kind of be part of my planning commission report here, if you don't mind. First Baptist Church has plans to build an annex, and with talking with Will, the most practical way for them to do so that they could fall within their setback guidelines and would be to rezone to a C1, which, as we have found, all of the churches in town actually need to be rezoned. Because R1, which is how they are currently classified and have been since 2005, and as I've told you in many of these meetings, every time I open that book, I'm learning something new that sometimes maybe I wish I didn't know. But R1 will allow for religious facilities if, as a special exception, if they have at least a 1 acre parcel. And First Baptist Church had, what did I say it was, 0.8 or 0.9?
1.8, I think.
It was either, they were, one of, First Baptist or Cumberland Presbyterian, one of them was either 0.8 or one of them was 0.9.
I think
So-
they were 0.9.
What they have done is they've combined their three parcels that they had up there into one, and they are requesting rezoning to C1, and as soon as we can get that taken care of, they'll be building their annex. So it's not my dastardly plan to keep them from building their annex up there. It's not some kind of master conspiracy I've got going on. I'm just trying to go by the letter of the law, and the rest of the planning commission as well. So we get that taken care of, they'll be able to apply for their building permit and get going. So that's what this is for.
Okay. Now, everybody up to par on why we're calling a special meeting for that. All right. I need a motion to accept March the 25th, special call meeting at 6:30.
Make a motion, we set March 25th at 6:30 for a special call meeting.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any more discussion on setting it for March 25th? If not,
I'm gonna abstain.
okay.
Being I go to church.
All right. Any more discussion? If not, all signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Now Kenneth can go up there and build your building when we get all this done.
Oh, we already digging, of course.
Yeah, he put a hole on it. I told him,
That
put
guy-
dirt back in the hole.
What you got there, Corey?
That guy got a spot between the reins, he won't get started.
There's a burnisher for $6.95. If you buy two, they'll knock off 5%.
So we get it for the same price as in here.
Same price, yeah.
Regular price, $11.95.
Wow.
That looks looks like the same thing there.
Maybe.
Sale prices.
All right.
If you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go back and pick that up off the table.
All right. We'll go back to the furniture and the contract for the weekly or monthly cleaning.
Make the motion, to take the buffer business off the table.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion second, take it off the table. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're gonna pick back up on the buffer furniture. Town hall. We looked at that one there. Corey's been looking on the, I found one for the same price.
Who is this one from here?
Clean Freak.
Clean Freak. It started to say freaky clean, but it's, I knew it was something.
Cleanbreak.com.
They both the same price.
Yeah.
And all of them probably will run pretty well.
We gotta pay
They will.
shipping on this to get it here?
Shipping could make a big difference.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Well, you'd probably have to pay shipping on that and also.
There's nothing.
Yeah, they don't,
Oh, that's,
I don't. Well. Yeah.
We get a free gift for that one.
Doesn't say it. The price is
over here.
I'm looking for a
Get your
coupon.
coupon, go get your
I'm
coupon.
gonna find me a coupon.
Yeah, see what the shipping charges be on that.
Let's see right here. wait a minute. That's right.
Oh, you can get a list of free gifts. I guess you can get a hodgepodge you can pick from.
I don't see where it says shipping.
Probably, since it's an online thing, it probably wouldn't tell you to put it in your cart.
$132 for shipping on that one.
This one probably, when you put an order in online, after you put it in the cart, it'll tell you what shipping.
It will, because that's what Corey just did.
Is it any stores
What is this
in
one?
the, you know,
It's a buffer.
in the radius of Petersburg?
There it is right there.
Yeah.
You buy 6 of them, you
We'll
get
get it for $632, please. Please, we buy 6.
That's the bargain.
What do you bet it's gonna be the same?
It all looks alike, doesn't it?
Yeah. What's the phone number up at the top of it on that, Miss Barbara?
Hey, don't put your phone number in there, I did that.
Got a bill?
Yeah.
He's putting the
All I
town,
need to do is
I don't
find
see
out
it.
what the
price was, they sent you a
I
bill.
don't see theirs.
I thought I saw it somewhere, didn't I?
I don't see it.
I didn't think it said it's
the other one had a phone number at the very top in the right-hand corner.
Bubba, at what?
A lot of times you can go on eBay and put in that model number, and it'll bring up,
Yeah,
specifically that.
Same amount.
exactly.
Same amount, that's from the same place, guaranteed.
Well, let's check, well, while we're doing it, let's check eBay.
Right there. Is it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, one might have a good warranty, one might not. Is that on eBay there, Corey?
AT&T or Dish. I got last night, I got this guy in here. Today,
Sleep with this Time transfer being on.
I had time change, it threw me off. I tried to sleep on Saturday morning.
You work Friday night or
I
Saturday?
worked Saturday night. I tried to sleep a little bit. I was up late Friday.
working in there, so they don't know if it's not working. They can't tell you.
they locked in on something like
No.
that, and they won't give you nothing else. I done that the other day with parts from a tractor. They wouldn't let, they couldn't get away from it.
They won't budge.
Well, you put in another brand.
There
We just approve up to that amount and do a little bit of research.
I put in another request for another
Up
brand.
to
They go right
that
back to when
plus
it was
the
on
shipping.
eBay. They wouldn't let me look at
Okay.
that.
You're going to count for your shipping, so
$28, isn't it?
$828, so,
What about tax? Well, we're tax-free anyway.
Yeah.
Tax-free.
Both of them are.
Yeah, both of them same shipping.
I think it's, you find that a lot.
Maybe approve up to $850 and hopefully we can find something with free shipping.
What's the chances we can get the trustee to bring the one from the jail with him?
I think we'd be
As they
stepping
be
on.
pushing it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hire somebody to clean, maybe they got their own.
Well, let me throw this out here. Does any of the local rental places rent these?
Oh, yeah.
I bet they do.
Many years ago, that's what I started out working in. That's why that price didn't.
How often you gonna
raise me a
use it?
bit.
Once a month,
Weekly.
maybe?
Weekly.
Weekly?
Weekly, yeah. So you
Yeah, it would-
But eat it
You'd
up.
buy one in
cheaper
less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year, you'd pay for it, a lot less than.
Monthly, you might do it.
Monthly, you might get by with it.
Yeah, it needs to be done at least once
But
a
in the
week.
long run, you'd still be better off to have your own.
And then you have to pay for your pads too that you use.
I'd make the motion to approve up to $830 for the purchase of them.
Does it come with pads?
You have to have replacements.
I'd say, Corey, I'd get it up high enough to buy some extra
Buy
pads.
some pads too.
Yeah.
$850. How much are the pads?
How much is pads?
They're not cheap.
Well, a pad lasts you quite a while.
Cleaning that's a good deal.
It come with a pad?
Yeah, they come with a pad. But,
Now, you can go by a rental store and buy pads,
yeah.
replacement pads. Shelbyville, Murfreesboro, and I don't know about Fayetteville, Lewisburg, probably got them.
Pendergrass does too.
Hey, Pendergrass got them right.
Yeah.
Hard to finish brushing,
$24 per pad.
Yeah. And you know, if you're gonna buy some, I'd buy 2 or 3 and just keep them.
Yeah, just keep
Because
them in the stock
that'd
there.
probably do us for a year or 2.
And you didn't you tear one up in there, you said.
Yeah. What was this one here, the pink card furniture? About the same price, isn't it?
I'd make it $900
You'll approve 1,000?
or 1,000.
For it, shipping and extra pads.
What did we say, 828 was gonna be the shipping and the purchase price on the buffer?
Something like that.
Well, if you go 900, that leaves you $72. That could buy you,
3 pads.
that'd buy you 3 pads. And you'll have to pay a little shipping on that, but I wouldn't think a whole lot.
No, not shipping it with it.
If they'll
And
do
there
it.
again, you may want to check with somebody like Pendergrass and see what you can buy.
Yeah, they might have them local, not sure.
Buck or
Might
two
have to
more.
pay the- Yeah, might have to pay the shipping on it, just have them.
That could come out of miscellaneous expense.
All right.
Need a second.
You got a motion to approve up to 900? Is that what you?
Y'all wanna do 900? Make a motion to approve $900 towards the purchase of a floor thingamajiggy and
Extra pads.
some extra pads.
You know,
I'll second it.
I'm gonna shop for that free shipping.
That's
That's
fine.
my goal tomorrow.
That's fine.
Up to $900.
Up to 900.
I'll second that
A
motion.
motion and a second to spend up to $900 for burnisher and extra pads and the shipping. Any
Are
more
you gonna try
discussion?
to talk them out of that free, out of that shipping, right? tell us for a small town, tell them we need help.
Where's it coming out of?
I never could find a,
Location? Where they shipping it from? They're shipping it out of Nashville, we'll get it.
We'll just go, I'll go get it.
Of course, it's probably not coming on
Right there.
Nashville,
Keeping it a secret, I guess.
They don't want you to know.
they don't
We'll
tell.
talk to them, see about the shipping. If it's local enough to where we can go get it, we'll
You
go
found
pick it
a
up.
place on yours, Corey, I hadn't on this one.
I was working about that charger, I took a charger, we got,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I don't think we'll be
I don't wanna go to
driving.
Wisconsin.
No.
Yeah, especially this time of the year.
Y'all not gonna go to Wisconsin and get it?
Ooh, I've been up to the cheese place.
We'll pay that shipping if we have to.
All right, we got a motion, second, any more discussion on approving up to $900 for the burner? If not, all signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Next item, I do believe, if I'm in the right place here, is set resignation of James Crabtree. Mr. Crabtree has resigned. He brought me a letter by here a week or two ago, and I ain't got it with me. I was kind of ill when I left the house, and I left it laying right on the mantel board. So do we want to table that for right now until I get the letter? I'd like to have it and have it put on paper here.
We do know that he resigned.
Yeah, he resigned.
Yeah, he told me he had.
He had some personal reasons, some things that's happening with him. But I got that.
I think Mr. James has got health issues, a lot
I do
of them
too.
we don't know about.
I do too, since he fell the other day.
Yeah, he bunged himself up pretty good when he fell.
I would move to table accepting the resignation until we do have the letter here for everybody to read. I feel
Okay.
better
All right.
that way.
Do it this way.
Yeah, we can put it on the agenda. for
Special call. We can have up to three things on the special call. Didn't you? There's two. All right.
It's three signings, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can do two in one meeting.
Yeah. So we'll put that on the special call.
What? Three? Say it again.
Do it now.
What are we?
Talking about having
Three items
we can add.
on there? Yeah, I just want to make sure that's, okay.
Yeah, up to 3. So I'll bring it on the 25th. I'll make sure I got it in my pocket. Got a motion to table it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion, second. Any more discussion about tabling resignation of Mr. Crabtree? If not, I'll signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let me write it on here.
George,
Yep.
one thing that we did not put on here, we have got to go ahead and get started on this, bids on the recycling. We talked about that today, and still didn't get it on here.
Well, there'd be number 3.
Can we do that?
We can do it on the 25th.
$350.
Ooh,
What?
There's one on eBay.
The floor buffer ferry sent this to me a few minutes ago.
Both for burnisher.
go girl.
No, not that ferry.
John?
Go boy.
Say pit. Good, used machine, ready.
You're just working all the time.
Shipping is
aren't you, John?
$99.
Yep.
You get
Then
6
we
months to
could,
pay.
Does it have any kind of warranty with it?
Can you email that to me?
It's new and it's brand name and
Yeah.
Any questions and
Close
answers?
one in and glide it over the floor for a gloss that can't be achieved. Something else without.
Good.
They had $16 in it,
Yeah.
do it 24.
Well, there's some of them for 24 and some of them for 16. They're different burnishing pads.
Yeah, I'll forward this to you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
do that. Let's take a look at that thing there, because we approved up to that. We'll go ahead
Save a little
and, yeah,
bit.
save a lot of money. And check to see what kind of rating he got, that this person's got for his sales. If he got,
She might want to
if he
keep
got
that.
a
It's me.
P4 rating, we might just go on what we got. If he's got a high rating,
99.2% positive feedback after 425 or 424
He does good.
interactions.
that can't ask much better than that.
Our fireman thing had 100%. We should have gone with that.
If it
Our
ain't
fire thing
right,
that we were looking at.
eBay, back.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
they will
thing
straighten
about
it
it.
out.
I've learned with eBay that
All right, well, we got that.
they're on the side of the buyer.
All righty.
Is that a new one or used?
It's used.
Choose, take a look at that, since they got such a good rating on it, we'll check into that, Corey can send it to you. All right, we'll move right along. Reports of town board and commission on code. Sam's not here, and I don't know what he's had on it. Next is the JCDB Smith.
I was actually trying to pull something up here to add to my JCDB report. Of course, we'll be meeting in the morning. Our full board meeting is about 25 people that show up 4 times a year. I believe we're meeting tomorrow morning at the rec center, if I remember right, in Lewisburg. One of the initiatives here in the last couple of months of the JCDB is trying to get the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce back on track. What can the chamber do to not necessarily be a fundraising entity as it has been over the last several years and get back to being what it's intended to be to help promote local business? One step that we're taking is having a small business expo coming up April the 4th, and it will be at the Powder Room in Lewisburg. Now, if you're not familiar with where the Powder Room is, that's the old board and milk plant, and that's the reason they call it the Powder Room. It ties into the milk plant. It will be going on majority of the day on April the 4th. You do not have to be a chamber member to participate with your business. Now, the cost is slightly higher for non-members, but any businesses are encouraged to come and set up a booth to show your services or your things that you sell to the public. You got something on your mind, ain't you?
We are a
Still.
chamber member with Marshall County.
Yes,
I thought-
so we could technically, Petersburg could have a booth there to set up and show, what, and might not be a bad idea if we had just a board. I wish if we had some of Mr. Gary's pictures, some of the before pictures, some of the work that he's done, and then some of the after
I
pictures.
think we can get them from him. He keeps them in a book.
And I hadn't thought about that, but that would be a good idea. There'll be some featured speakers throughout the day with some seminars talking about, how to promote your business in a 21st century setting. I'm not sure about the expertise of some of the speakers they've got lined up, but I think it was the best they could do. I'm speaking about myself, just to let you know. Encourage you if you do, if you have a chance to come out, and I believe if it'll get you through the door, I think there's actually going to be some local restaurants that will be there with some samples of their food, so might come through and pick and graze and get you some free samples of some of the local restaurants in and around Marshall County as well. Trying to think just off the top of my head. New business, I believe I'm safe in announcing this. A Japanese auto parts supplier has signed a letter of intent to move into the spec building that is in the new I-65 Commerce Park that is out the Mooresville Highway. If you haven't been out Mooresville Highway lately, the new Commerce Park that's out there, I believe they've signed a letter of intent to move into there. And then there's also one other auto parts supplier that is still looking that could possibly add another building into that business park as well. So some new jobs coming into the county there as well. I believe the Japanese, they're gonna be supplying to Honda, Toyota. No GMs on the list. It seemed like there was one other, Nissan. Well, I can't remember that one. I believe that's all I've got for you for JCDP, just off the top of my head.
All right, next item is planning commission.
Planning Commission, of course, we've already talked about the First Baptist project. And then I was actually, after the Planning Commission meeting last Monday night, after the meeting was over with, I was approached by the Cumberland Presbyterian Church, and they've got plans to expand on to their facility as well. And they're starting the process. Come to find out, where First Baptist had 3 parcels, they actually have 5 individual parcels up there. And when we combine all of them together, I think they had 8/10 of an acre up there with those 5 parcels. So they'll be starting the exact same process that First Baptist just went through. They'll be getting a new plat drawn up to combine their parcels into one, and then they will then proceed with requesting a rezoning application from a R1 to a C1. And then at that point, once they get that approved, then they'll be submitting a application for a building permit and extending their building, I think, what did they say, it was 18 or 24 feet back? 24 feet back, so be getting that done. And I don't know what's going on, but we've got a building boom with churches here in town lately, so.
Have we heard any more from the East Side Church of
I
Christ?
haven't heard anything from them, and actually I had intended to call Mr. Whitaker today just to see where they were with that, but I'm gonna suspect they probably, you know, as I told you a while ago, with talking with Will, and that was one of the things Will said, Will said, I'm gonna have to get to Petersburg, sound like y'all got some kind of revival going on down there. It's what's going on, and I'm not complaining, it's great. And I've even told Kenneth and Mr. Larry, you know, I wish I could just get out of their way and let them build what they want to build. But when we've got that zoning ordinance that we're bound by, they can't do that. We've gotta
East
go
Side's
back.
going to expand?
They were talking about
They
it
were
back last
talking
summer.
about it back last summer.
But one thing we do need to look at, as Will has advised, we need to look at all the churches around town, see how they're zoned. I know the Church of Christ over here, business meeting last night, it was discussed that they need to look at rezoning as well to C1. There's 2 parcels over there. Need to just go ahead and combine them together and rezone that to C1. So that's going to be a process we're going to be going through the next couple of months, is looking at how those are zoned. It's just you know, it's one of those things that happened back in 2004, 2005 when those zoning maps were drawn. It was just an oversight. But we'll get it straightened out and get us on the right track here. So, trying to think if there's anything else that we've discussed. Of course, Mr. Blocker's still getting his ducks in a row, and maybe we can see him start making some progress here in the next month or so as well with his buildings. He's starting to ask me some questions, so I tend to think he's getting ready to get the wheels in motion as well. So,
What is he planning on building?
well, he's going to build a building back over here where he tore this down, but my understanding, he's going to try to keep it as close to the original front fascia as what the rest of the square is. And up here, he's rehabbing the old Dr. Marsh office and the Royal Theater.
He's leaving the existing walls and going inside on the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah, so he's got some good plans, and of course, he's got a lot on his plate right now too with his mother, so it's understandable for him to be taking his
That's first
time.
priority.
That's #1 priority right now, so. I think I've taken a lot of time to
Right.
jabber.
I just want to compliment the planning committee. I was a thorn in their side about 3 years ago. But I'm very proud of Petersburg. When I put it in my Facebook, Petersburg proud, I am. And I'm proud of Corey, Barbara, Mr. Phillip, and the rest of the members of the planning commission on how far they've come. And it keeps us out of trouble, and it makes Petersburg a better place to live. Just, I'm very, very proud, and I was a thorn. I know I was.
Well, we got our ducks in a row, I think, now. And of course, too, a lot of these things is a learning experience that we're getting into, just like with the Baptist churches, like Corey said. We got into that right there, and then we learned what we have to do. Now, when it comes to the Presbyterians to our church, Corey's done told, do this, do this, do this, do this, and we've got it all down. And as long as these churches are expanding, that's great. And if we get some other people to come in, do some
Well,
things.
as long as they expand, I mean, people's coming in
Yep.
from somewhere,
Yeah.
at least one day a week.
We moved here 10, 11 months ago now. We've seen the cleanup, the different things and all. Is there any plan, is there another month of promotion in April or anything coming up to say?
Yeah, we got to do
We
that.
need to do it again, we need to keep.
Yeah,
keep
that is
going.
coming up.
We
got,
Yeah, that's coming up.
Gus Hip,
And I'm glad you mentioned that because it's here, and we always do that Gussie Up Week in April, so.
Can we set that first meeting in April?
Yeah, let's make it or we can do it at our special call, make it our third time at our special call.
Because there's been a lot of stuff being dumped in the dumpster. There's people bringing stuff every day.
we need them to bring that back again, and you don't wait to Gus Hip. So it's ready to be hauled off.
It
It needs
is.
to be done now.
Yeah,
You go ahead and do it?
just go ahead and do it.
Be that much more junk out of the way, won't it?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I know we're spending a little money on it, but if it's getting rid of a bunch of garbage, hey, I'm tickled. That's getting it out of yards and everything else.
Just back that down.
You through the door.
That helps.
I'll say one more thing and then I'll shut up. The recycling grant, we haven't talked about that much lately, but we did get that. We've got to get that going. That's got to be in place by September, if I remember right. So,
We'll put that on for March.
We're gonna have
We
four
have to-
things.
really,
September 1 has to be fully operational by
Yeah,
September
has to be
1.
fully operational by September 1. We have to spend the money up front to buy that trailer. I asked Angie a couple of weeks ago how much money we had in refuge fund, which is what would fund that, just to make sure we've got the money there to cover it. So we'll have to spend $12,000 up front, but we'll get reimbursed from that grant to pay for the purchase price of that trailer.
Yeah, I think we discussed that before about,
They got certain specs on
Yeah.
there, well, they just use their design,
Well, we had a trailer that we basically, when we applied for the grant, we said, this is what we're going after, this type trailer. And I've got to get with Morgan Thomas and just ask him, do we have to advertise that, or can we, as with the propane, do we just find people that supply these types of
find out
trailers?
for sure, because we want to make sure we do it the right way and don't get stuck.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to do it wrong. So,
All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
can I say something? I know it's a little out of line, but we've got with us Mr. Don McLean, his wife Beverly, and Don has indicated that he might like to be considered as an alderman to replace Mr. Crabtree. And I'd like for the board members to meet them and then
Okay.
you can make the decision of what.
Yeah, we're going to discuss it, I think, on the 25th. We'll accept his resignation with the paperwork, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's good, but I'd like for y'all to meet him.
I think I've met him.
Beverly.
I think I've met him one time. I believe I did.
You're busy.
I've met so many people. It's just like I had
No,
some
Randy, you
people.
look familiar.
Huh?
America's Top Wanted or something.
I've seen him on a poster somewhere. I don't know if it's in the post office. You know, it was right next to mine, I think. Where it says, have you seen these folks? And I said, I ain't seen them. But here after the meeting, we'll.
Fine job in that house up there. I haven't even been inside it yet.
I have, it's nice inside, but Beverly says it's a pain in the neck, but she's gonna make it.
Well, I know I'd been in there before.
It's a little different.
It's real different.
When I went in there, at the time I went in there, I had my gun drawn because I didn't know if something was gonna come out on me or what.
You wouldn't believe what we found
start up the hill.
in the yard.
Oh, yeah, we will.
I could, yes, I could.
I've got a friend that's never used the metal detector, but he bought one and he always wanted. I said, I've got 2 acres for you to try it out. I think it's pretty well.
Well, I wouldn't be.
I'll let you come back in and see it now.
Okay. All righty, we got the planning commission done, fire department, first responders, we don't have anybody.
I imagine Bobby's in bed. They were out fighting a fire late last night, got in about 1 o'clock this morning, but
I had something this evening too, didn't
I heard a bunch of sirens, I don't know if it was
Yeah, I
them.
did too.
Sirens about 9 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, I on the phone calling my son, man, I never heard like a siren.
I was this morning about
But,
4:30 or so.
Also, if you haven't had a chance to go over and see the first responders building, it's looking amazing. Mr. Gary and them have just changed the whole look.
The first responders over here,
This blue
back
building right
behind,
over here.
they've been working on that.
Where they keep the first responders in.
I tell you what, it's just amazing as to the change of what them people have done around town.
You got
Every
it?
time I get a chance, I talk to them and compliment on what they're
What am I
doing.
supposed to be looking for, Randy? Just anything?
Yeah, keep going.
Are y'all looking for something?
There.
Get it.
I'll let y'all read, I'm gonna have I'll be right back.
Corey, I wonder if this is something we might want to look at. It's a summer youth program. It says don't miss out on the opportunity to hire a youth from your community for the summer for 8 weeks and receive 50% match on the individual's wages. Thought about contacting her and seeing, you know, if we could put a young person from here to work and they'll pay half of it for the summer, whether it's helping mow or whatever. Might be something to look into.
What a buffer.
It might be, because Tim spends a lot of time working in with you, doesn't he?
He has been a
And filled in when you have to be gone. That leaves Merle out there trying to mow by himself. And Merle is not a spring chicken.
But that might, I just thought that might be something we want to check into.
Liability would be.
Don't think we have to look at the
That's what
liability.
I said. I'm not crazy about putting them out there with power equipment.
Yeah.
Although, as it reads here, it gives them an understanding how school is connected to economic success. You put them out there cutting grass and just let them know, hey, you don't want to be cutting grass for a living.
You've been there, haven't you? Or you been there, haven't you?
The school wants you to do the, put them out and make them cut grass.
I'm sure we've got something that covers us on that, because we've had people work here before.
There's been all
Not
kinds
as
of
a
summer
full-time,
programs.
but as a summer program.
Government summer program, we used to hire them all the time, and we let them cut grass.
Federal Housing Authority hires them,
Yeah.
and they do the same thing.
Would it be like an age category? I mean, you couldn't go back and like maybe hire 13, 14, maybe
No, I think it
below?
had to be like 16 or,
Yeah.
Had to be like 16, 17-year-old, something like that.
MTS and TML could probably advise you on that.
Tennessee.gov has got a form for that. And we got a form here for,
release of,
somebody, a release for somebody we're gonna,
You know what, Brad, those releases are about usually not any better than the paper they're written on if they get the right lawyer. And just beat them,
yeah,
you know, just be paper.
it's like me, I knocked my neck out on 52
Ready for
people,
park and
this
rec.
gentleman right here. We didn't have one cut face.
yeah,
And if you don't,
Jack wants it.
if you don't get this newsletter, if you don't get this newsletter from Mike Wiles, his Marshall Happenings, he puts it out at least once a week, not a couple times a week. If you're not getting it, let me know, and I'll get him to add you to his list.
Yeah.
Very informative.
I try to put it on the website, but I've only got so many hours in a day sometimes to do this stuff, so. But
Just add our email address.
yeah, just give me your email address and I'll give it to Mike. Yeah, I've got yours, so. But-
All right, I think, Jack, you had
Yeah, on the fire department, we've been talking about this a while. Our emergency operations plan was required to be updated last year. We did that. Part of the update and part of our emergency operations plan is education and training. And I've talked to Bobby, and we need to get the fire department, police department, water department, you guys, if y'all want to be here, and we just need to do a session and really an emergency operations plan review and what each department's responsibilities would be. I talked to Bobby, he had somebody that he thought maybe would put it on PowerPoint that we could just run through it, because it's pretty detailed, and I wouldn't want to keep y'all over 3.5, 4 hours. Really, I'd like to cut it down 30, 45 minutes to an hour and get in and get out. And document that we had our training and
Yeah.
education, but we need to do that. So if we do have some type of emergency disaster, and it covers from flooding to bombing to, I mean, it's really, it was really detailed, but I really think we need to get that in there and get, because that's part of it, do some training. But Bobby and I are talking, and we'll try to get together sometime this year and get it done.
Get a
It
date.
needs to be done because
Yeah.
there's going to be a liability there with the state and the federal government.
Yeah, it's part of the requirement of the plan to do it.
Just get with him, I'll get a date together, and then we'll get it scheduled and go from there.
I wanna say something. This, I know this is not worth 15 cents, and this does not mean even tied to the board. But, you know, as any establishment, like where there's food and everything, you want to deal with a health inspector. Our health inspector came to senior citizen center a week before last, and we got a 96.
That's great. That's great.
That's good.
That's good.
That's worth 16 cents.
All righty, now we saved the best for last. Miss Bridget.
Petersburg Parks and Rec met February the 25th. We meet for Monday night, every night, here at Town Hall. The discussion was mainly our extravaganza. That will be the 23rd of March, which is 2 weeks out, and we're gonna make it by care of our chin. But I have contacted Mr. Daniel Owen, the extension agent in Lincoln County, and he is working on getting the 4-Hers to bring maybe some of their animals to the Lions Park too, to have another hands-on experience for the kids that may not be able to go to the fair or whatever. The fire department will be there with the fire truck. Police department's gonna be there with the police car. They let them climb on the fire truck and blare the sirens and blow the horn, and they put their gear on so the kids get familiarized with what it looks like for a firefighter to come in your home. We also have an Easter bunny that's gonna show up. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Carrie and Randy are actually in the kitchen right now working on games. They're on the game committee, so they're manning that up. We scheduled a work day for April 13th at 10 a.m. We're going to be filling in the holes where the kids have dug out swinging, and we're getting some rubber mats to put down under the swing so that that mulch doesn't disappear under there and that it stays pretty level for them and that's not a mud hole. We may put some at the end of the slides as well. We've also got to put boundaries up around the mulch so that it lessens the likelihood of the mulch washing away. And we're gonna put some flowers up around our sign. We've talked about some knockout roses or something like that, just to make it look nice, that are real maintenance. Petersburg Crowd Day is scheduled for June 22nd. Instead of having an all-day event like we did last year, we've decided to do a 5K early in the morning, and then let the festivities begin at 6 around dark when it starts to cool off. At our February meeting, the theme we decided to go with was the 50s sock hop again, since we were all so tired and dragging. This past year, we didn't get to really do what we wanted to do, so we're gonna try it again this year, and hopefully we will be able to pull it off like we wanted to last year. Personalized Prints is getting us a shirt design right now for the 50 sock hop day, and they're gonna make it a generic type shirt that we can use if we don't sell them on that day, that we can sell maybe later on in life. And they're also gonna be able to print it on more than one color t-shirt, but each will be black and white. So if you want it on hot pink, Mr. Owen, you can have a hot pink shirt.
You got it.
We have several new sponsors that have joined us this year for Parks and Rec. Our sponsorships so far total $2,350. That's $2,350. And most of them are new sponsors for the year 2013. So we've still got to contact some of our old sponsors that we had from last year and see if they want to renew. And I've given you a list there: Marshall Medical, Young Funeral Home. They're the only two who have renewed. The rest are all new: Higgins Funeral Home, London Funeral Home, Fayetteville Lumber, Miles Chevrolet, Publishing, and Richardson Waste Removal are all new sponsors. We want to thank everybody for being supportive of everything we do and hope to see everyone out for the extravaganza. If you hear of anybody who wants to sign up kids, tell them to call me. I can get you my phone number. We're also gonna do the cutest cottontail contest, so to maybe take up more donations in that day and raise a little bit of money. So I may be knocking on a few doors, Miss Barbara, and getting the cutest cottontail picture.
Here, Officer Lasher would win last year.
Brian did.
I think James did last year.
I was thinking you did.
He doesn't get to do it again, and everybody thought that James was Corey, so.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was. We meet again next Monday, the 18th,
I don't
for a
really know what
special
to
call
say about
meeting.
that.
preparations. And then our March meeting is the 25th.
That's what we was talking about earlier. Y'all have y'all's first, we'd have a special call meeting.
Made you feel over there.
I'd like to thank the Parks and Rec.
Like Boston.
Got some more new people here for the sponsors. And I know y'all been working hard on everything that y'all have done. Y'all have done a wonderful job.
Well, the reason we went with personalized prints, what the company we went with last year was the shirts for $5 a piece, and they're gonna give them to us for $3.75 a piece. And the banners that we've been buying for our sponsors have been costing us $50 for the smaller ones and $125 for the larger ones, and they're gonna do them for $25 and $45. So we're very big supporters of personalized prints now, and I told her, since she's given us such a discount, if she wanted to make her one up and become one of our sponsors, we would gladly let her do that.
And they also changed the numbers on your,
Yeah, they
egg hunt
changed
sign.
the date on our extravaganza
For $4?
for $4, where in Designs, when they did my Christmas spread one, it was $20. And they just changed two numbers, so on both sides.
We pulled
So
the numbers off
personalized
and hit
prints
this
is
one.
my new favorite people.
Well, that's
Is that the
good.
$45 one, is that the size of the one we put up in the window over there?
It's a 4x8.
No, his was the,
His is $125.
Yeah.
That's what
that's what we
I
paid for y'all.
That's what we paid for y'all's, but it will
Well,
be
we're just holding it for you.
Right.
that's fine, it's yours.
Well, it identifies the building, so it's great.
Well, we won't get with it.
They're in Park City, personalized prints is in Park City. You get to the top of the hill on the right, kind of across from the Ford
The old
dealership.
People's Bank building out there at the top of the hill. When it
Well, that's
goes back.
great.
Is that Cindy?
My contact is Julie Donovan.
Yeah, the monks.
That's who I've been working with, is Julie Donovan. She's our
Owned by the monk.
Well, I think that concludes our business for tonight. Does anybody got anything you want to say before we adjourn?
Yeah, I make most with adjourn.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir, sure can.
This report tonight, there was 9 items that concerns me as a citizen of this town. And that's up again.
The increase of thefts,
Theft, 4 people that are
suspicious persons, yep. The animal control, reckless driving,
There was a total of, I'm sure I counted 9.
vandalism, 3 vandalism.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got, if y'all have noticed, and I have, I've seen people here I've never seen before,
Yeah.
walking the streets. I had one call me the other night at 10:30, want to know, is there a curfew? And I told him, yes, we do have a curfew.
We had one at 11 o'clock call my phone because my mom had said we were to that and they had released it all out. And they brought it to our door at 11 o'clock that night.
But we do have a lot of new people in town.
The burglary theft, I think that was like sheds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 sheds.
Just it's an awareness thing. that,
Yeah, because we've never had a problem with thefts or burglaries, anything like that. vandalisms. We might have had one a year, maybe one theft, and then come find out Ken folks borrowed it and didn't tell them they took it.
What were the vandalism? Did they spray?
I don't know, I hadn't seen the reports yet, I'm gonna have to go through those.
Probably street signs, I've also noticed some street signs been bent over.
Oh, mentioning street signs, I found, Old Petersburg Pike's street sign at a residence the other day. And I'm gonna have them a nice little trip to the courthouse. I happened to go up to talk to them, and laying there on the back porch was Old Petersburg Pike sign. I took a picture of it, and I've been back up there, and she hadn't been home. When I go back up, the sign's still there, I went back up there today. When I go back up, I'm gonna pick the sign up, her too. So, yeah.
I have something I want to ask. Back about 4 months ago, y'all had a meeting and when we changed the speed limit,
Uh-huh.
the truck sign has never been changed. And somebody said they were going to get with the T-Dot about weight limit, what the weight limit for that road is, and replacing that sign and getting bigger signage. Because we're still having several tractor trailer trucks come through there, all hours of the day.
I see one coming through.
And they don't realize that there's no trucks through there.
Well,
So-
they do realize it, they just say they didn't see it.
Well, the sign needs to be bigger or something so that.
I still think the GPS is directing them that way too.
Well, the GPS is gonna direct them because they don't
update them either.
They don't update them when they get a chance to, because it costs them a little bit.
I actually contacted I contacted Telemat about a month ago, and I actually got a response from them that said they have taken my suggestion to whatever into
And we actually
consideration.
got behind somebody that looked like they were doing street maps.
Yeah, they've actually been through updating the street view map, because I chased them through town here about a month ago just seeing what they were, because they turned around in my driveway.
But that sign never has been replaced.
Yeah.
And I remember you all saying,
Yeah,
vote to
we're
replace
supposed
that
to,
sign, and
yeah,
it
we're
needs to
supposed
be
to,
replaced.
got those ordered. I guess we need to make sure we get that.
Is that something that we could talk with T-Dot about putting a sign out there at the top of the hill saying truck route, pointing, bringing them all around to 130?
I think we could. Because it needs to be done. We don't need no big trucks up through here.
Look at word, Terry, Corey.
Put it
Top
out
of the
there,
hill where they
top of the
keep
Y out
coming
there.
through, and then one out here.
Oh, in both places,
I
yeah.
don't want to deter them from going to the Shell, because a lot of truckers do stop there, but we
Right.
need to make
Yeah.
some kind of a
Something.
recognition that they can't come further on down.
Let's check with T-Dot, see if we can't get something.
Put two 90-degree chicanes in the street.
I mean, it was 10:30 and one of them.
That's strike, still track.
Last night.
I've had them come down Church Street.
Yeah.
Be laying there in bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you hear wah, 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 wah. You know, look out, and there you go.
They're supposed to go down in other side of the park, swing around, come out of co-op, and back that loop.
Put them all the way
You know what they're supposed to do?
129.
130.
Go out towards Sheffield.
There was one come down to my house, I think it's Saturday night, come down through there.
Oh, I'd love to see them come down by your house, that'd mean the factory's back open, but
Yeah, if it's.
It would be nice to see that back open.
Sometime they go over and park at the factory.
Well, I don't know what his motive was, but I just happened to look out for something, and he had a set of blue lights sitting on him.
Yeah,
See, they go
that's one I got called
He
about.
went all the way in and
Ryan.
tried to pull out, and Sam stopped him out there.
Yeah.
Then he told him to back up, the guy was gonna back up, and Sam started leaving, he looked out and he was still trying to go out, so Sam just come back in behind him again.
All right, we'll check on those signs. Anybody else got anything? If
I'm ready to
not,
go home.
do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second?
I second.
The motion is second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hey,
Thank y'all for coming, everybody.